A'udhu billah minash shaitanir rajim. We seek refuge in God from Satan the rejected. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. In the name of God, most gracious, most merciful. Salamun alaikum. Peace be upon you. God willing, today we want to start the second session of the series of Introduction to the Mathematical Miracle of the Quran, Final Testament. And in the last session, we went through the beginning facts of the Appendix number 1, which stated one of the great miracles. And we went through the first page of the Appendix 1, and we went through the second page up to number 7, fact number 7. God willing, today we want to start with fact number 8, and we want to continue forward. So, fact number 8, the famous first revelation, which is 96, Surah 96, chapter 96, verses 1 to 5, consists of 19 words. So if you go to the Arabic Quran and you look at the Arabic text, again, I need to state that you can go to a book, you can go to the PDF print, like PDF scanned version, or you can go to a website and you can check these things on your own. And it is a very, very well established fact that the first revelations that were basically revealed to Prophet Muhammad were the first 5 verses of Surah Al-Alaq, means the embryo. And these 5 verses were basically, are mentioned here. You can see them. Number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, and number 5. And these 5 verses consist of 19 Arabic words. So let's look at the fact one more time. It states the famous first revelation, 96, 1 to 5, consists of 19 words. So let's count it together. If you're familiar with the Arabic text and the Arabic script, you can do that. If not, you can follow along. This is the first word, Iqra. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, and 19. So again, another number 19 is appearing here. So the first revelation to Prophet Muhammad, the first 5 verses of Surah Al-Alaq, which we previously talked about, is the 96th Surah, which is in the current order that we have, but it was the first revelation to Prophet Muhammad, consists of 19 words, the first 5 verses, and these were the first 5, the first revelation to Prophet Muhammad. So, fact number 9, this 19-worded first revelation consists of 76 letters, okay? So these 5 verses that we just counted together, the number of words were 19 words. The number of the letters, the Arabic letters for these 19 words is 76, and that is 19 times 4. How can you check that? There is a book by Dr. Rashad Khalifa, the Messenger of the Covenant, and it is called Quran Visual Presentation of the Miracle, and it says by Rashad Khalifa, PhD, and it was published during the time of Dr. Khalifa. So it's an old book. The copyright is 1982, more than 35 years old. And you can find it online. It's very easy to procure, and you can also buy it on probably Amazon or somewhere else. But anyhow, this book, if you check it, you will see that on this page, which is basically page 12 of the book, you see that Dr. Khalifa has put the first revelation to Prophet Muhammad in, he has put like the Arabic text, as well as the English transliteration, as well as the number of letters in each word. So that then you can see the number of letters on the right-hand side. And if you add them up, you see that they are 76 letters, 19 times 4. So here we have to say, praise be to God, Lord of the universe, that we have such a intricate mathematical structure. And I need to state that we haven't talked about the text yet. We're only talking about physical facts. It's not my idea. It's not somebody else's opinion. It is a fact. You can pick up Quran anywhere in the world and you can see the same thing being repeated in all the Quran. So the first revelation, 19 words and 76 letters, 76 Arabic letters. And 76 is a multiple of 19, 19 times 4. So this was for fact 8 and 9. Now let's go, God willing, to fact number 10, Surah 96, the same surah that we just talked about, the embryo. First in the chronological sequence, consists of 19 verses. This is very easy. You can, if you are familiar with the Arabic text, you can go to the end of the surah and you will see that it has 19 verses. And if you're not familiar with that, that's fine. You can go to a website like Quran.com and click on chapter 96, Al-Alaq, and then you will just scroll down and you will see that it consists of 19 verses. So this is very easy to check. So see, 19 verses. So again, another 19 showing up. So the Surah 96, first in chronological sequence, consists of 19 verses. Fact number 11. This first chronological surah is placed atop the last 19 surahs in the Quran, right? So let's check that one. Again, we can go to the website. It's easy to check. So chapter 96 here, right? The last chapter, 114. Let's count it together. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Again, 19 just, is showing itself, right? So 19, 19, 19, 19, 19. So it's a deliberate pattern that you see up to this point, right? So how many facts have we talked about? 11 here, and previously there was 2 other on the previous page. So up to here, we have talked about 13 facts. Now let's go to fact number 12. Surah 96 consists of 304 Arabic letters, and 304 equals 19 times 16. All right, how can we check this? I had to check online to see who has counted the number of the letters or the words in the Quran, and there are many people who have done that. I found one of them to be accurate. So there are several different ones. This one was an accurate one that I found. Again, you have to do your own research, but I have done my research and I have found this. So there was this person who has just like created tables for verses of Quran for different surahs and different verses. So this is surah numbers 96, Al-Alaq, verses. These are the verses. This basically column is the verses. And then we have W. These are the number of words. And this is the number of letters, right? So let's go through the end part of it that we have 285. Now, you might tell yourself that 285 is short by 19, right? To become 304. And you are right, because this surah has 19 verses, right? But we should not forget that if you go to the Arabic text, you will see that this surah has a Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, in the name of God, most gracious, most merciful, which is unnumbered, right? So this surah basically has 19 numbered verses and 1 unnumbered verse, right? So basically 285, if you look again here, you will see that this file, we will see that the total number of the letters in Surah Al-Alaq is 285, right? If we go to a calculator easily, 285 plus 19 becomes 304. And 304 divided by 19 is 16. So 19 times 16. So if we go back to the PDF, you will see the same thing exactly happening here. 304 Arabic letters, which equals 19 times 16. So this was fact number 12. God willing, we will move to fact number 13. The last revelation, according to the actually the history that we have established among the Islamic scholars, the last revelation to Prophet Muhammad was Surah 110. And this surah consists of 19 words, so 19 Arabic words. So if you go to this Arabic Quran, this is a very short surah, and this surah was the last surah or chapter being revealed to Prophet Muhammad. Okay, so let's start counting the number of the words in this chapter, in this surah, Surah An-Nasr or Victory. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, and 19. So you see that the last surah which was revealed to Prophet Muhammad, Surah 110, consists of basically 19 Arabic words. So this is another interesting fact about the Quran. So this is fact number 13. The last revelation, Surah 110, consists of 19 words, 19 Arabic words. Now let's move to fact number 14. The first verse of the last revelation, which is 110, so Surah 110, verse number 1. So the first verse of the last revelation consists of 19 letters. So let's check this. Now let's look at this. This is the first verse of the last revelation. Let's count the letters and see whether it is 19. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, and 19. So you see that again, 19, the pattern of 19 is emerging. Okay, the first verse of the last revelation, which is 110:1, Surah 110, verse 1, consists of 19 letters. These are the things that we are checking. We have to check them for ourselves on our own to make sure that this is correct. We're not like somebody's not messing with us. This is a revelation from the Lord of the universe. So God cannot be wrong, and God is never wrong. Praise be to God, Lord of the universe. He's always right, and everything that you see here is also right. Now, number 15, fact number 15. 14 different Arabic letters form 14 different sets of Quranic initials, such as ALM of Surah 2, verse 1. And these 14 different sets of Quranic initials prefix 29 surahs, basically in the Quran, right? So let's first explain these three points which are mentioned here. Then we will get to the number, which is 57, and it becomes 19 times 3. So what do we mean by 14 different Arabic letters? So if you come to the next page on the Appendix 1, you will see that there is a table here that has mentioned the all the 29 surahs in the Quran that are prefixed by basically the Quranic initials. Okay, so if you look at, for example, let's go to website Quran.com. If you look at, for example, Surah number 2, you see that the first verse here starts with Aleph Lam Mim, right? And this Aleph Lam Mim, if you look at it here in English, it is represented as ALM. Now let's go, for example, to Surah number 3, which is again the same thing, right? It starts with the same Surah Al Imran, the third surah in the Quran. It again starts with Aleph Lam Mim, ALM, right? Or let's go to Surah number 7, right? Let's go to Surah number 7 and see what it is, right? The first verse starts with Aleph Lam Mim Sad. So ALMS, and this is a heavy S in Arabic, which is different from Sin. So Aleph Lam Mim Sad. and so on and so forth. So if you go to the end of it, you will see that there are 14 different letters in the Arabic alphabet, which make up 14 different basically sets of initials. And what are these 14 different sets of initials? For example, ALM, they're considered one set of initials. So whenever you see ALM, it's one type of initial, okay? But ALMS is a different type of initial. ALR is another type of initial, right? But again, if you see ALR, they are the same, right? They're only one type of initial. So how many do we have? We have 14. So if you look at this table, you can easily check it for yourself. But here they are. ALM, number 1, number 2, ALMS, 3, ALR, 4, ALMR, 5, KHYAS, which is Kaf Ha Ya Ain Sad, 6 is Taha, 7 TSM, 8 TS, 9 YS, 10 Sad, right? This is the Surah Sad here, right? And then 11 HM, which is Hamim, and then 12 Hamim Ain Sin Qaf, this surah. And then there is a surah Qaf or Q, right? And then the last surah, which is initialed, is Surah 68, Al-Qalam, the pen, which starts with Noon, right? So these are 14 different sets of initials. Now, 14 different Arabic letters and 14 different sets of Quranic initials. And these initials prefix 29 surahs, as I just showed you in the in this table, right? 29 surahs. If you look at the left side, you will see the number 29 here at the bottom, right? This number 29 at the bottom shows that there are 29 initial surahs, and these are the numbers of the surahs in the order that we have in the present time. Surah number 2, 3, 7, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 19, 20, and so on until 68. Now, what is the significance of this? If you look at it, you have 14 different Arabic letters and 14 different sets of Quranic initials, and these 14 different sets prefix 29 surahs. Now, let's add these number up. 14 Arabic letters plus 14 different sets of Quranic initials plus 29 prefixed initial surahs, right? So that would add up to 57, and 57 is a multiple of 19. 19 times 3. This is, again, a physical fact. It's not my opinion. It's a physical fact which is in the Quran. Now, God willing, let's move on to number 16. Fact number 16. The total of the 29 surah numbers where the Quranic initials occur, it becomes 822. It means that if you add up the number of the surah, Surah 2, Surah 3, Surah 7, and so on and so forth until Surah 50 and Surah 68, again, they are mentioned in the table that I just showed you on the next page, and it adds up to 822. And 822 plus 14 sets of initials, right? So we have 14 different sets of initials for these 29 initial surahs, and this number equals 836, or 19 times 44. So if you look at it, we are just like working with the numbers in the Quran and the physical facts that exist in the Quran, and regardless of what we are doing with them, we're ending up with either 19 or multiple of 19. So here, for example, we have 19 letters, 19 words, 19 surahs, right? Or we have a multiple of 19. So the pattern of 19 is repeating in the Quran, you know. So let's continue with fact number 17. Between the first initial surah, which is surah number 2, which starts with ALM, Alif Lam Mim, Surah Al-Baqarah, the heifer, and the last initial surah, Surah 68, which is the pen, Al-Qalam, right? And starts with Noon, Noon, Wav, Noon. There are 38 uninitialed surahs. 38 uninitialed surahs. So it's very easy. If you just look at the calculator, you just bring it up, right? 68 minus 29, right? So we have 29 surahs which are initial. 68 is the last surah which is initial, okay? Minus 29 becomes 39. However, the first initial surah in the Quran is surah number 2, not surah number 1. So we have to actually deduct 1 from this number, then you end up with number 38. So basically, you have 29 initialed surahs in the Quran. The first one is number 2. The last one is number 68. So if you deduct number 29, which is the number of the initial surahs, from 68, you end up with 39. However, we should remember that the first initial surah is surah number 2, and not surah number 1. So we deduct that number, 39 minus 1, it becomes 38. And 38 is a multiple of 19. 19 times 2. And this was fact number 17. Now let's move to fact number 18. Between the first and the last initial surah, there are 19 sets of alternating initialed and uninitialed surahs. So the first surah that has the initiation, the initial letters, ALM, Alif Lam Mim, is surah number 2. The last one is surah 68, which is surah Al-Qalam, right? So if you look at this, I have actually done it on a piece of paper, and I just want to show it to you. So if you look at this, it would be very easy to understand what it means. So surah number 2 and 3 are initial, right? 4, 5, 6, not initial. 7, initial. 8, 9, not initial. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, initial. 16, 17, 18, not initial. 19, 20, initial. 21 to 25, not initial. 26 to 32, initial. And then we go to 33, 34, 35, not. They're not initial. 36, yes. 37, no. 38, yes, initial. 39, no. 40 to 46, yes. 47, 48, 49, no. 50, yes. 51 to 67, no. And then 68 is the last initial surah, and it is initial, obviously. So we have 19 sets of alternating initial, uninitial, initial, uninitial, initial, uninitial. So let's look at it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, and 19. So praise be to God, Lord of the universe, for such wonderful things that we see right in front of our eyes. And these are not, my ideas. They're just like facts which exist in the Quran. Anywhere that you pick up a Quran in the world, be it print or PDF or computer, a website, easily you can check these facts for yourself. Now let's move on to fact number 19, which is in this page. So the Quran mentions 30 different numbers. These numbers are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 19, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 99, 100, 200, 300, 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 5,000, 50,000, and 100,000. That the sum of these numbers is 162,146, which equals 19 times 8,534. Now, let's see what this means, okay? I have actually found the list of the verses where these numbers can be found. The thing is that these numbers that have been mentioned in the appendix are basically, you have to look at them in a non-repeating manner, right? For example, you have number 1 several times mentioned in the Quran, but we're not going to count number 1 several times. We're going to just say that number 1 has been mentioned in the Quran, number 2 has been mentioned in the Quran. So that sometimes you see that there one number is only mentioned once in the Quran. For example, 100,000 or 50,000 is only mentioned once in the Quran, right? So we have to look at this in a non-repetitive, basically manner. Okay, so let's look at the verses. For example, verse 61 on Surah 2, chapter 2, verse 61. We have wahid, right? The word wahid. We have one here, and the context is one kind of food, right? Now, if we go to the next one, you will see that we have number 2, right? Here we have number 2, and then we have number 3 or 4, right? So thani, thalatha, and roba or rabi, right? So it depends on the situation. Arabic language is a very intricate language in terms of grammar and conjugation and everything. So you might see different shapes of numbers in different contexts. I'm not that familiar with it, but the little knowledge that I have about Arabic language is that it's a very interesting language in terms of how words are used in terms of conjugation and gender and tense and everything. It's very, very interesting. So we have number 2, we have number 3, and we have number 4 mentioned here. Now let's move on to another verse, verse 22, Surah 18. We have number 5 here, right? Khamsatun, right? And then let's move to number 6, Settate, right? So we have number 6. Your Lord is the one God who created the heavens and the earth in 6 days, right? And this 6 days, we know that it's a yardstick. It's not like our 6 days. It's just a yardstick for us to understand that the creation of the heavens and earth was very intricate and very detailed. Now, let's move to the next one. We see sab'atun, right? It's 7. And then this is verse 22 again, chapter 18. Let's move to the next one. Thamaniyata. So that's basically 8. And you see that, 7 is also mentioned here. And it is sab'a, right? So it's 7 nights and 8 days. The community of Ad, which were destroyed by a violent storm, violent wind. And it says that he unleashed it upon them for 7 nights and 8 days. So you see that 7 and 8 are mentioned here. Now, let's move to the next one. We see 9 here, right? Tes'a. We supported Moses with 9 profound miracles. So you see the number 9 being mentioned here. The next one is Asharatun, right? So it's 10. It is the context of Hajj pilgrimage. And the fact that, and it's really interesting that, number 3 is mentioned here, and also number 7 is mentioned here, and then number 10 is mentioned here. So this is the interesting way of the mentioning of numbers. You know that, of course, 3 plus 7 is 10, but then 10 is also mentioned here. This is really, really interesting. As we move forward, you will see the intricacy of these numbers, Now look at number 11. This is Prophet Joseph telling his father Jacob, "Oh, my father, I saw 11 planets. Ahada ashara kawkaban," right? It's 11 planets. Ahada ashara. Okay, so let's move on to the next one. We see 12, right? Athnata ashrata. Excuse my pronunciation. It's a second language pronunciation. Arabic is not my first language, so I'm just trying my best to pronounce these, but I'm just showing you where the numbers are mentioned. Number 12. You can also listen to the Arabic recitation of Quran, and you can listen to these numbers, but I'm just trying to pronounce them the best I can. So this is number 12 mentioned. The next one is 7430, right? Where عليها تسعة عشر, right? 19. This 19 that we are talking about is mentioned only once in the Quran, in chapter 74, verse 30. And this is the Quran's common denominator. The 19 is coming up everywhere in the Quran. Now let's go to the next one, 865, right? We have Ishruna, right? So that's 20. And then we have some other numbers also mentioned here. We have 200 mentioned here, but then we can come back to this later. We have Thalathuna, so that's mother taking care of the infant for 30 months, right? It is mentioned in 46:15, and in the same verse we have also the word arba'in mentioned, which is 40, right? Which is the age of decision mentioned in the Quran. And then we go to the next verse, 29:40. We have khamsina, right? Which is 50. And this is really interesting. We sent Noah to his people, and he stayed with them 1,000 years. Alpha sanatin illa khamsina, less 50, right? So it was 950, but 950 is not said in the way of 950. It is said in the way of 1,000 minus 50 or less 50. This is really interesting. Quran, is attracting our attention. God is attracting our attention to these numbers. Why should it be mentioned in this way? It could have easily been 950, but it's not. It's mentioned in 1,000 less 50. Now let's move to the next one. Settina, right? 60. Here we have sab'una, so we have 70. Then we go to the next one. We have thamanina, we have 80. And then we go to the next one. Then we jump to 99. Tis'un wa tis'una, right? So 99. Interesting. And then we jump to 100, okay, and then 200. So we have 100 and 200 mentioned here. So if you look at it, we have me'atun, so that's 100, and me'atayn, that is 200, mentioned in the same verse. This is really interesting. And then we have another verse, thalatha me'atan, that is 300. And then we have another one, alfina, that is 2,000, right? But then the word alfun is also mentioned here. And another verse that we had about Noah, also alf was mentioned, 1,000. So 1,000 and 2,000 are mentioned in this verse, right? Then thalathati alfin, so that's 3,000, which is mentioned, 3,000 angels, right? And then we have the next verse, which is khamsati alfin, that is 5,000, 5,000 angels again mentioned. Then the next one is khamsina alfa, which is 50,000 years, right? The angels with their reports climb to him, to God, in a day that equals 50,000 years. Praise be to God, Lord of the universe. And then the last number, which is the biggest number which is mentioned in the Quran, is mi'at alfin, that is 100,000. Then we sent him to 100,000 or more. Again, if you are interested, you can look at the context of the verses to see what these numbers imply and what they are referring to. But again, the addition of all these numbers becomes 162,146, which equals 19 times 8,534. So this is a condensed summary of the simple facts mentioned in the Quran, and we check them together in 2 consecutive sessions. So we had 2 facts here about God and the verses where the name God is mentioned, and these 19 facts. So God willing, in the next session, we're going to continue with the literary mathematical composition section of Appendix 1. Until that time, Assalamu alaikum, peace be upon you.